Okay, here we go. With Clock Tower, Return of Scissorman. Let me mute this. Now, I just finished Clock Tower 2, The Struggle Within. That was my last video, and I said I was going to go back to this one, Clock Tower Return of Scissorman. Now, this is the game that came out before Clock Tower 2, The Struggle Within. Now, the original Clock Tower was released on Super Famicom in Japan. It was never released in the United States. This game came after it. Technically, in Japan, it's known as Clock Tower 2. But in the United States, Clock Tower 2 is The Struggle Within, which was the game I just played. This one is known as Clock Tower, The Return of Scissorman. So I'm just going to put it in as Return of Scissorman because this is the English patch of it. Now, unlike Clock Tower 2, The Struggle Within, this game right here is a direct continuation of the original Clock Tower on Super Famicom. In case you're not familiar with it, the original Clock Tower was on Super Famicom or SNES, but it was never released outside of Japan. You can play it today using an emulator and a ROM, and they even have English patches now. And this game is a direct sequel of that. Now, in the original, your main protagonist was a young girl named Jennifer Simpson, and she, along with several of her friends, other girls from the Granite Orphanage up in Scandinavia, were adopted suddenly by this rich man in a castle. But all of her friends end up getting killed one by one. It's up to Jennifer to figure out what to do, where to go, how to get out, and she ends up discovering that there is a horrible curse upon the Barrows family, and the woman, Ms. Mary, who had taken them all there was no rich man who wanted to adopt them. Ms. Mary was taking care of the two cursed twin brothers of the Barrows family who were imbued with this horrific curse. One was mutated beyond belief, and the other one dressed up in a mask and wielded a giant pair of scissors, and is the killer who's stalking them all throughout the mansion. Jennifer ends up having to put an end to Ms. Mary, kill the mutant Barrows child, but apparently there was another twin brother. She never encounters him. In fact, I can't remember all the details. Just know that there's a curse haunting the Barrows family, where every so many generations a pair of cursed twins is born. And Jennifer and her other orphanage mates were taken down there to the source where the mutant evil Barrows child was being kept in the basement, and Jennifer's the only one left that ends up having to kill him. That's about it. So now, in the sequel, we are still playing with Jennifer Simpson. She was taken in by this woman right here in the introductory cutscene. Her name is Helen. Helen is a professional. I believe she's a pathologist or forensic psychologist, something of that nature. I can't exactly remember. She works through a local university. They are still in Scandinavia. Only now Jennifer is older. Now technically in this storyline, she's 15, although she looks older than that. And that's her right there. That's Jennifer. I keep thinking she's like 18, 19, 20 maybe, but storyline says that she's 15. Whatever. And this guy that's interested in her, by the way, who you can play during a specific stage, is like in his late 20s, going after Jennifer, which is really weird if she's supposed to be, 15. Now, just like Clock Tower 2, The Struggle Within, there are multiple endings to the game. Only you will get to switch off between Jennifer and Helen in this game. Just like in Clock Tower 2, what you do, what you look at, who you talk to, it's a point-and-click game, the old interface, and your choices directly impact the path you take through the game, which character you play as for what stage, and the actions that character takes can determine your overall ending. Unlike in The Struggle Within, where you can get an ending just by making the wrong choice, it happens right away, but you can continue, and all your A through M endings are logged. This one, unless something happens where the game ends abruptly altogether, you have to play through till the end in order to see which ending you get. And the last one's D and E. I don't think they have ending cutscenes, but C, B, and A do. And they are different endings. You get A through E depending on which character you play as. There are certain determining factors to whether you play the first scenario as Jennifer or Helen. Based on decisions you make, you play as a secondary character through Chapter 2, except for this one instance in which you can play as Helen for Chapter 2, and it doesn't really matter. Then, of course, you will play as Jennifer or Helen for the final Chapter 3. There are also hints here. Now, some can only be picked up by Jennifer. Some can only be picked up by Helen. So, you are going to need at least 2 playthroughs in order to get all the hints, making sure that you set it up so that certain stages and actions you took in your first playthrough, you don't take in your second playthrough, so you can fill in the gaps. And here's the Clock Tower story. I'll read it to you. It's available right away. In the mountains of Romsdar in Norway stands the Barrows family mansion. The mansion had a large clock tower by which the locals tended their flocks in the surrounding fields. The local people called the mansion the Clock Tower. In 1986, the mistress of the Barrows mansion gave birth to twins. From the day they were born, however, it was obvious the twins were not normal and were evil. The twins were given the names Bobby and Dan, who were later to become the murderous Scissormen. In 1995, a young girl from the Granite Orphanage, whose parents died when she was quite small, was lured into the Barrows mansion, where she was attacked by a monster wielding a giant pair of scissors. That monster was the grown-up Bobby. She managed to escape from the terrible horrors, destroy the monster, and flee the mansion. Those are the events of the original Super Famicom or SNES version of Clock Tower. For the next year, all of Norway was caught up with the sensationalized Scissorman murderer. Although Jennifer thought he was dead, Scissorman has reappeared. One other thing I will tell you before I start this game, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but if you've been watching my videos and you have been watching the Clock Tower 2 Struggle Within, which was released after this, you might actually notice that the scares, the interface, the speed in which people run and walk and everything actually almost seems better than in the Struggle Within. Struggle Within does have its special charm for me, but yeah, in this game, Return of Scissorman, I actually think it's a little bit easier. There are more places to hide. There are more objects you can use to fight against stalkers, enemies, which for the most part is just Scissorman. There are more paranormal, weird things happening. And also in Clock Tower 2, you only get 3 shots. You start with a white pointer, which means good health. Yellow means you're damaged. Red means you're not going to survive another hit. It's kind of the same thing in this game, but it actually works the way it's supposed to. And you actually do, I believe, regain health if you just stand quiet or idle. In Clock Tower 2, at least the ROM version that I was playing, it didn't do that. I'd get killed on a yellow pointer, and I wouldn't recover any health by sitting still. It's supposed to work better in this game, and from what I remember, it does work better. I might actually say that in the course of gameplay, graphics actually look a little bit better. I don't know. It's up to you to determine what seems just as shitty and what seems better. The one big thing I had real problems with was the speed of the text. The text is too large, whole sentences don't fit on the screen, and it goes real slow. But we'll just play. And I think I want to do this first playthrough as Jennifer, which I always do. And this is the prologue with Professor Barton.
Professor Barton? Professor Barton? Professor Barton! What on earth are you doing, Professor? You mustn't hypnotize her like this. She's not ready to remember the murders yet.
Helen, the Clock Tower murders are fascinating research material for me. I must know the truth of what happened.
She can't take any more of this today, Professor. I'm taking her home.
All right. But remember one thing, Helen. You may be her guardian, but you are also my assistant.
Yes, Professor.
So, this is the university or the addition to the university where Helen, Jennifer's new guardian, lives, and she works with Professor Barton, who seems very interested in hounding Jennifer for his own research purposes. Hint number 1. There's a faint smell of ammonia. Giant pair of scissors is on the desk. They are a replica of the scissors used by the murderer in the clock tower case. These are like the weapon he used to slash up his victims. The clock tower murders. The mass murder of over 10 victims in this case. How intriguing. Jennifer Simpson, only one of 2 survivors. I have to get information out of her for future profiling materials. Okay, we got the hint in here. My laboratory. Lately, I've been doing mostly criminal psychology research. Huh, the staff is still here. A statue. It's cold. One of the items found at the scene of the clock tower murders. It seems to be hiding some sort of secret. It would be a good idea to get an expert opinion on this. Professor, Helen left a few minutes ago and she looked really angry. Huh. You know, Helen and Jennifer are really beginning to look like sisters, aren't they? I guess that's what happens when you live together. One mustn't let their personal feelings get in the way. Jennifer is nothing more than another research subject. Yeah, you're right. Scissorman's rubber mask. The kind sold in cheap novelty shops and seems to be fairly popular. People certainly buy stupid things. Professor, a newspaper reporter is here. Did you have an appointment for an interview? It's about the clock tower murders, isn't it? I guess they want to sensationalize the Scissorman, who really doesn't even exist. Scissorman. It'd be cool if he were real. Huh? Just a joke. Harris's desk. Flipped out articles of the clock tower story are scattered about. It seems Harris has gone somewhere. Okay, now that we notice that Harris is gone, I think we're good to leave. Now here comes an important part. How many times you speak to Harris determines who you're going to play in Chapter 1. I want to play as Jennifer, so you got to talk to Harris multiple times. Oh, Professor, a newspaper reporter was looking for you on the first floor. Okay, thank you. Is Jennifer She's already gone home. Was there something you wanted to see her about? No. He's always so gloomy. He's top-notch, though. That's for sure. But then... Okay, just making sure. Harris seems to have a little fixation on Jennifer. 15-year-old Jennifer. All right, so that does it. Okay, we're going to be playing as Jennifer in the first chapter. Oh, Professor. I'm the one who called you from Oslo Weekly News. My name is Nolan Campbell. And this is Tim, my cameraman. It's a pleasure. I'm a bit busy. Please keep it brief. Then I'll get right to the point. Have you been able to figure out who the murderer is? I can't say anything for sure yet because the victim's testimony lacks credibility. Oh, do you mean the victim that's testifying? That'd be Jennifer Simpson, wouldn't it? Yes, but what about her? Oh, nothing really. It's just that we saw her leaving a few minutes ago. And since we'd run into her, we asked her for an interview, but she refused. You just said her testimony lacked credibility. I know what you were going to say. That monster she was talking about, the Scissorman, and whether he really exists or not. That's it. That's right. That's what our readers want to know. Because the existence of the Scissorman has become a symbol of terror among youngsters. Yes, and that's because trashy gossip magazines like yours have sensationalized the whole thing. Ouch, that hurts. Not much I can say to that, is there? Well, let's start from the conclusion. It's fact that there was a murderer who used a giant pair of scissors as his murder weapon. But that doesn't make him into some immortal monster. We're just dealing with some odd screwball. But what about what she said? She was scared. She thought she saw something. Oh, I see, but... Okay, that's it. Interview's over. There's something I must be attending to. Ah, well, okay, I understand. Thank you very much. Sorry I couldn't be as much help as you had hoped. I have to get back to the lab. I'm expecting another survivor of the Clock Tower murders. He's supposed to be a young boy, around 10 years old. Professor, the boy that survived the Clock Tower murders is here. Oh, has he arrived already? Yes, he's waiting in the therapy room. Oh, that's right. I still need to get an expert opinion on the statue. I should probably ask Professor Sullivan, the head librarian at the Metropolitan Library. Yeah, but there was that old butler at the Barrows Mansion named Rick. I'll show it to him first to see if he knows anything. I'm pretty sure he lives in the suburbs. I could ask Harris to show it to him. Ask Harris? Another big choice you have here. Professor Barton is going to have to choose somebody to take a look at the statue at the end of the prologue. Not only is where you send it going to influence what second chapter you play and who goes, but you have to remember where you sent it because you'll be asked later. If you make the wrong choice and you send a person to a place where the statue isn't, you get one of the early endings. Now in this case, because we spoke to Harris twice, he's the one up here that you have to ask about the statue. It doesn't matter which you choose. You just have to pick one and remember where you sent it. If we say yes, then Harris will be taking it to the old butler who lives in the suburbs. If you say no, Professor Barton will automatically send the statue to the library. Now, since we're dealing with Jennifer, and I don't want to play as Helen, and Harris has a thing for Jennifer, and he's like kind of involved in this, I'm going to say yes to Harris for him to take it to the old butler. All right, I'll ask Harris to show it to Rick. Harris, would you take the statue and show it to a man named Rick? Is that the statue that was at the scene of the murders? Yes, it is. Would you ask him if he knows anything about it? Yeah, I'll go and ask him on my way home this evening. Very good, thank you. Okay, that's that. I should probably go to the therapy room. Now we're done, so head into the therapy room. Thank you very much for coming. How do you do? I'm an instructor at the Granite Orphanage. I'm Edward's guardian. Edward? I thought he completely lost all of his memory from the shock. Does he remember his name? No, I call him Edward because not having a name to go by makes things very difficult. Now, since this is our first day, will you answer some simple questions for me? Okay, Edward? Now, I want you to honestly tell me everything you remember about what happened. Yes. Well then, let's get started.
And that's it for the prologue. Helen isn't home yet. I think I'll go out for a while. You have these intermission parts in between the stages in this game, where you travel around town, speak to people, gain some information, and also it helps familiarize the player with all the main and secondary characters that are involved here. Let's start at the Oslo newspaper company. If I went to the newspaper office, I would just be chased by reporters. Let's go to the hotel. Oh, that's right. Edward is supposed to be here. I wonder what kind of boy he is. Is this boy Edward? Are you, by chance, Jennifer? Yes, I'm Jennifer. I thought so. I recognize your face from all the pictures in the paper. Oh, my name is Kay. I'm an instructor at the Granite Orphanage. The Granite Orphanage? Yes, but I began after you left. Is he... Yes, he's Edward. Say hello, Edward. Hello. Hello, Edward. How do you do? Jennifer, Edward has lost his memory from the shock of what happened. Yes, I've heard. You were also involved, weren't you? Speaking with you might jog his memory. I was hoping you'd be able to come visit Edward. Please. Yes, that would be fine. I'll come as often as I can. Well, I must be going. Oh, I'm sorry for keeping you. See you again soon, Edward. Bye-bye. Now, in the original game, there was no Edward. And because Jennifer has grown quite a bit, and Edward is significantly younger than Jennifer, how old would this boy Edward have been when he survived the horrors at the Barrows Mansion? Like 4? Where was he? But apparently everyone throughout Scandinavia knows about the Scissorman. And that he is one of the survivors found. I'll go see Helen. She should still be in her lab. Back to the University Research Building. Oh, hello, Jennifer. What's up? Nothing much. I just came for a little visit. Oh, really? I'm going to be a bit late tonight. You go ahead and eat without me. Are you busy? My hard drive crashed and I lost all my data. I've got to get it restored tonight. Oh, I see. Please leave the key in its usual place. Okay, I will. Good luck, Helen. Metropolitan Library. Helen's mentor, Mr. Sullivan, is the head librarian. Hello, Jennifer. Did you come to check out a book or something? Mr. Sullivan. You're as cute as ever. How's Helen? She's fine, but she's been busy lately. I see. Oh, by the way, I've added to my collection again. Do you want to come see? It's quite a collection of archaeological value. No. No, thank you. It would take a long time. Goodbye, Mr. Sullivan. Well, drop in for a visit anytime. Now, we met Kay and Edward. We met Mr. Sullivan at the library. Let's go back home. Huh? Someone is in front of my house. Oh, that's... You're the reporter that came to the university yesterday, aren't you? Oh, please call me Nolan. I've been collecting information on the clock tower case for a long time now. Even though it's a really big case, very little of the truth is understood. As a reporter, I simply can't leave it alone. Yeah, the truth. And I'm interested in you too. Hey, what do you say to having dinner with me? I don't care what you tell me. I just want you to talk. Are you asking me for an interview or a date? Well, that's it. Both. Yes, both. An interview and a date. All right then. Tee-hee. Let's go. Nolan in his late 20s and Jennifer, who's supposedly 15. Scenario 1 as Jennifer. Now it starts to get good. It's very late. Someone seems to be following me.
What's wrong?
Help! Someone is following me.
Some kind of weirdo?
And here we go. Let's hide. And yes, we can go into the men's room even though we're a woman. Because you don't care after dark when you're being chased by a murderer. Whoops, I have literally never died there in that bathroom right at the onset. Damn it. All right, I guess we're gonna have to leave. All right, ladies' room. And the sound actually plays a more important role in this game. Why didn't we go into this stall? Let's see. My God, somebody's dead in there. All right, let's get the hell out of here. Now we're trapped in the building with Scissorman. The blackboard shows the whereabouts of each staff member. It says Helen's gone home. Danny's desk. Trading cards and small toys. Harris's desk. Cut out articles on clock tower case scattered all over it. There's even a picture of me here. Helen's desk. Very neatly organized. There's a key. You now have the office key. Beth's desk. Stuffed animals and a spray can. A can of mace. See, there are actually objects all around you can use. And you automatically use keys when you have them for the right door. Patients' charts are collected here. Cheap table. And will you look at that? The giant replica scissors are missing. Many bottles of medicine. The replica scissors are gone. Let's take our time through here. Trash can. I knew there wouldn't be anything useful. Emergency exit securely locked. Emergency, yeah, right. Maury Kunis. No one seems to be here. The door is locked. Isn't anything that seems useful. Academic journals on the shelf. They look really boring. Sofa. There are small shoe prints on it. boy. And we hide under the sofa. Let's get out of here for now. We'll come back later. Front entrance door. What's going on? Doesn't even budge.
Excuse me.
Oh boy.
Excuse me.
There's a key on the table. What is this? You now have the ladder key. Sofa, probably used for naps. There's a blanket with a blood stain on it. Partition. Oh God, he freaking killed everyone. That scared me. Huh? The line is dead. Appears to be the laboratory, but the door is locked. I'm sure Helen's lab is on the second floor, but we've already been there. Stuffed full of complex charts and graphs. What's this? Hint number 2. Must be food crumbs or something. Corner of the box is covered with ants. It's empty. Some tools, but nothing seems useful. This might be useful. We now have oil can. It's locked. Ah, shit. Alright, let's get out of here. Shouldn't be doing this. It is locked. Ah, ha, 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 ha. If you overutilize a hiding spot, he will catch on. So you gotta try to find new places to hide or new items to use. Ugh. Various documents on the desk. Nothing inside. What are these doing here? Pair of underpants is hanging up to dry. Handbags and umbrellas. Locked. The fax tone rings. There's a fax coming out for me. Someone is sending a fax from inside the building. The handwriting is weak and unsteady. I'm coming to get ya. And if you're wondering why I seem to be able to foretell what language is coming, it's because I've also played this game like 50 billion times. I pretty much have, especially the opening prologue in chapter 1. I've got a lot of the lines memorized. Plain, simple table. PCs on the table. I'm not very good at computers. Some tools here. I wonder if it's being repaired. I might break this if I touch it. Isn't anything that might be useful. think. I thought Scissorman was in there. Fiero's lab written on the door. The door is locked. Men's lounge written on the door. Cosmetics on the table. There's something written here. Hint number 3. Yeah, it doesn't give you the option to read it right away. Bunk beds. Bunk beds. Helen must take naps here when it gets late. Surrounding campus is lit up by street lights. Campus is creepy with everyone gone. Let's get the hell out of here. And this is going to be locked. It's no use. It won't even budge. This is where you begin the stage if you're Helen. But we're not Helen right now. An emergency ladder. Looks like a fire ladder. It's locked, so I guess it can't be used in an emergency either. Door to the rooftop. Locked and it won't open. Well, what do you know? We have the ladder key. From way up here, is it safe? Phew! That was relatively painless. What in the fuck is going on? We haven't even solved the last case yet, and now another mass murder. And again, you're saying that the murderer is a monster. But it's true. I can already see tonight's headlines. Scissorman is back. Well, whether he exists or not, you should go home now and rest. We posted a policeman outside your house, so you'll be safe. Thank you, Inspector. That's Assistant Inspector. Jennifer. Helen, it's true. It was the Scissorman. I know. I believe you, Jennifer. He's just being stubborn. I heard that, Teach. Anyway, if it is him, We have to figure out some way to destroy him. How can we do it? Yeah. Or we can do it. Yeah. What should I do now? I think I'll go out and get a sundae. I wonder what Nolan is doing. Oslo Weekly Newspaper Company. This man is the cameraman who's with Nolan. Excuse me, is Nolan here? Hey, you're Jennifer. Yes, I am. Is Nolan here? Nolan? He just went to look for you. He's worried about you. Oh, he is? He should be back in a bit, but I don't think you should wait here. Why not? Well, you're hot stuff again, and if the other reporters find you, they'll ask you questions till the cows come home. I suppose you're right. I'll come back later then. I'll leave the back door open for you, so try not to be seen when you come in. Thank you. I wonder if Edward and Kay were attacked by Scissorman. Back to Norway International Hotel. I know there's no one here. I wonder if Helen is here. Let's just visit Helen at the building where people were murdered and I was almost killed. Oh, hi, Jennifer. You came just in time. I was just on my way out. Where are you going? Do you remember that statue? The one they found at the scene of the clock tower murders? Yes, what about it? I can't find it anywhere. Professor Barton had it. Huh. And Professor Barton was called away on some police business. Do you have any idea where it might be? Yes, I found some telephone numbers on the professor's desk. One for the library and one for a man named Rick. I think he must have taken it to one of them. He did mention to me that he would like to get an expert opinion on the statue. I don't know who this Rick person is, though. I see. Anyway, I'll go to the library to see Mr. Sullivan. If the statue is there, I've got to get it. I want anything and everything relating to Scissorman. Yes. Helen, I'll find out who this Rick person is. Maybe Nolan knows something about him. Jennifer. Yes? Who is Nolan? Well, I'd better run along now. I probably shouldn't bother the inspector. I hope Nolan is back. Jennifer, are you all right? Yes, thank you. The police didn't want to tell me much, so I had a hard time finding you. Is there anything I can do? Actually, yes, there is. Do you know a man named Rick? I think he's involved in the clock tower case. I was just going over to interview him. Really? He used to be a butler for the Barrows family. I ran into someone who happened to know that. I thought I'd go ask him what he knew about the Barrows family. What about him? Well, Professor Barton might have given the statue to him. You mean the one they found at the scene of the murder? Yes. I need every little clue relating to this case. Okay, should I get the statue from him? All right, I'll go see him and get it. Do you want to ask Nolan, yes or no? Now, this is where you have to remember where you sent the statue. Now, I had Harris take it to the guy, Rick. It is not at the library, even though Helen is going to check there anyway. If it had gone to the library, we would be playing as Helen, but we did not send it to the library. I had the professor tell Harris to take it to Rick. So now, because we're playing as Jennifer, she happens to be talking to Nolan, who wants to check out Rick's place for her. If we were playing as Helen, she would have Inspector Gotts go if we sent it to Rick. But we're playing as Jennifer. Nolan has the opportunity to go, and we did send it to Rick, so say yes. You can count on me. Thanks, Nolan. The sooner I do it, the better, right? I'll go now then. Scenario 2, Nolan Campbell. Oh, I see. Is that how it was? Yes, if you have any idea, please tell me. I'm looking for any clue, no matter how insignificant. Huh. Nolan, do you know of a castle called Barrows Castle? Barrows Castle? Yes, it's a castle in England. Then, before the Barrows family moved in, yes, that's what I heard, over 80 years ago. Is there something in that castle? A monster was once born there that terrorized the local children. Like Scissorman. I had thought it a fairy tale. Well, what happened to the monster? He was killed by his father. His father was the head of the household of the 13th generation of Barrows. Then there is a way of defeating Scissorman. Rick, do you know where this castle is? Give me a moment, please. I'm sure that somewhere there is...
Nolan, I was given this chandelier as a farewell present when I retired.
So it used to hang in the Barrows mansion.
Barrows.
Yes, what wonderful times they were. Except for...
Hide quick. Why won't this open? Boy. Neatly made bed. He really was a man of steady habit. Just a trash can. Nothing useful in here. Seems to be something inside. Well, let's look. Small room. It looks to be a statue. So this is the statue Jennifer was talking about. It feels cold. You now have the statue. Let us save. And I'm going to cut it here for tonight. It's like after 4 in the morning here. And I have a ton of laundry to do, and I have to find a way to get a ride to get it done. So that is the first part of Clock Tower, or Clock Tower 2 as it's known in Japan, or Return of Scissorman as we know it here. I will be back later. Mwah.